Good day, everyone. My name is Adetutu Shongunuga, Partner Learning and Development with Human Capital Partners, also a GTCI certified coach, and today we are going to be talking about all things teams. Enjoy. If you think about it, we all come from teams because all of us come from, some nuclear family. And so for me, team building, I like to think of as enhancing the ability of a group of people to communicate better together, to be more effective working together, to enhance their effectiveness, if I can put it that way. So bringing different people with different backgrounds, disparate perspectives, and forging them to be able to come together and be very effective and impactful. Well, no man is an island, like we say, and we all do things in teams. So your output is somebody else's input, and somebody else's output is your input. And so we need to be able to make that a seamless exchange. And a lot of the mistakes I see with organizations is that they don't appreciate the work that goes into building a team. And so team building is really important for organizations to be able to build that trust and collaboration so that everybody understands that we're all in the same boat and we're all rowing in the same direction. Some of the common challenges we've encountered are organizations who haven't trained their managers and team leads and just throw them into the deep end and tell them sink or swim. And so very quickly problems begin to pop up. Communication problems, leadership problems, conflict resolution. These are all challenges that can trip a new or even old manager when it comes to managing a team. But I think the very first challenge that we all need to think about and actually address is the question of psychological safety. So Google did a study a few years back trying to understand what was the difference, what was the number one factor between a great team and a good team, maybe even a very good team. And what emerged was psychological safety, the ability to be able to be open and honest and vulnerable without any fear of reprisal. That for me is, the number one thing that organizations need to ensure is present if you really want to get the best out of your teams. Unfortunately, that is the number one thing that is absent in most organizations. So you begin to see the allowance there is for a lot of conflict and a lot of suboptimal performance right there. Leaders can support teams to work together by first providing training. Don't just expect that because people have been cobbled together and told you are a team, that they are going to automatically vibe together, as we say now. So we talk about the 4 stages of becoming a team: forming, storming, norming, performing. And expect that all teams are going to go through that, not necessarily in a linear progression, but they will go through those stages at some point. And so if the leader has not been trained on how to manage each stage of the team process, then that team can very quickly devolve into chaos and non-performance. And so when we come in to help organizations run team building sessions, which are absolutely fun, but very, very immersive and filled with a lot of experiences that we then debrief with the participants, you see that team building is not something that can be taken for granted. It actually needs to be built into the DNA of the organization. It's not a one and done. It's something that you make it a part of, everything you are doing within the organization. So something else you can do is make team building part of your orientation. When you're bringing in new people, immediately they have to understand that we're going to be part of a team. We're part of the large team. We're going to be part of smaller teams. So make team building activities part of your orientation. Make it part of the training that people are sent on. If you have people who have been trained within the organization, let this be something that is happening, regularly, where people are reminded about what it is to be a team member at all times within the organization. Because, globally, working in a team is a very desired skill, but unfortunately, it's not automatic. And so people actually have to be trained on how to be an effective team member. Results are king. This is how we know. Now, the results are not necessarily going to be always something you like or what you want, but at least you're sure that the team did a great job of dissecting, analyzing, and trying to get the right input to be able to get the correct result. Another reason why teams fail in organizations is a lack of diversity. We have people of the same age, same level, same outlook, and so it's almost impossible to bring in innovation and new thinking into teams. And so what organizations need to begin to do is to deliberately and intentionally mix up the teams, have different people with different perspectives. More diverse teams have actually been shown to outperform the more traditional teams. And so if there's any organization out there that is still doing team building and teaming the old way of having the same type of people with the same type of mindset and just almost guaranteeing herd thinking, then you are really marking yourself out of the game. So that's one way you can check that your teams are performing, the results they are getting. How open and honest is the communication within the team? And even when the team is reporting back on what they've done, are they taking ownership? Do they feel safe to be able to share the results that they've received? So you won't always 100% be able to tie in the results that the team have received, but just even looking at the behaviors of the team members and looking at the results they've gotten gives you an idea of whether or not they are on track. So when you bring in new people, let team building be part of the orientation. Let them know that, hey, we actually work as a team within this organization. And that means the organization, needs to be showing them that they are welcome on the team as well. We've heard of situations where people go into a team and nobody was expecting them. So how are they going to feel like they belong? They report and they have no equipment to work with. How are they going to feel that they belong or that they were even expected, that they are wanted? So every little thing matters in the organization. So make it a part of the onboarding, make it a part of the orientation, make sure it's part of the learning and development as people grow within the organization as well. And don't take it for granted that people know what to do. People are coming from different backgrounds. They have disparate perspectives. We need to be the ones to show them what it looks like to be a team member within this organization. Don't leave that to chance. Culture can be overemphasized when it comes to team. Working as a team, being part of a team. What is the culture that has been put in place? Because as you've heard before, culture will always eat strategy for breakfast. And so you need to make sure that your team has the right culture in place. Your organization has the right culture in place. And that is when you begin to get the results that you need.
Thank you.